The sixth match from Pro Wrestling Noah, Star Navigation 2024, February 23rd, 2024. And Korakuen Hall was a tag team match that saw Naomichi Marufuji and Kazuyuki Fujita take on Jake Lee and LJ Cleary. I tweeted out earlier, I didn't know anything about LJ Cleary. I had to look him up, had to do some work. Some people don't like doing that. He is a wrestler from the motherland. He's from Ireland. That's right. That's where the wrestling snob hails from originally. My great-great-great-grandfather was born in Dublin, Ireland, which is exactly where LJ Cleary is from. So he's got a new fan in me, just from being from the motherland. Him and Jake Lee, they're members, not just members. Jake Lee is the leader of GLG, the good-looking guys. And let me tell you something. Marufuji and Fujita are some badasses, and this is going to be a kick-ass match, and it was a kick-ass match. It was different than your typical average-day American match, that's for sure, even different than a lot of Japanese matches, but I still loved it, baby. Let me tell you why. Just watching Big Jake Lee, I have to actually sit here and Google his stats. He's a big guy. He's not like monstrous Brock Lesnar big, trying to throw something out there for you guys to reference as I type in his name, and you can look him up on the cagematch.com, the only site that Tony Khan takes any real reverence in. Jake Lee is 6'4", 242 pounds. So he's thin, not skinny, but he's a svelte gentleman. 6'4", and Fujita's 6 foot. He's lucky. He's not real tall, but he's big. He's a big brute of a guy who's just killed people almost literally dead in matches in Noah. He is a beast. He is a monster. A lot of Noah fans do not like him because he comes from back in the Inokiism days of New Japan Pro Wrestling when they were all trying to put on worked MMA matches. So some people hate him for that. He's got a reputation of taking liberties sometimes. I don't know. I've liked him. He's just this brute, powerful son of a bitch that will just powerbomb you to hell and laugh about it. He drinks beer. He's been known to dump beer over his opponent's head in press conferences and stuff like that, or have beer dumped over his by someone trying to get his ire. Nothing really seems to get to the guy. You're not going to psych him out or anything like that. So watching his interactions with Jake Lee here was great. Jake Lee's not the least bit intimidated by him. Jake Lee's gimmick I don't get. It's not as bad as Seth Rollins, okay? But he comes out with like a big overcoat, top hat, and in this matchup, he came out with a monocle. The one-eye glass thing that Mr. Peanut wears, or did wear, whatever the truth is. We'll find it one day. But I don't fault him for it. Jake Lee is a great wrestler, former GHC heavyweight champion, former Triple Crown heavyweight champion. He is awesome. Fujita's a former IWGP and GHC champion. He's a badass. Like I said, Marufuji, everybody knows his story. And let me tell you something, LJ Cleary hung tough with him. I want to see a singles match between Cleary and Marufuji. I do. Even though this match was really putting over hard Fujita versus Jake Lee coming up here, I believe it is March 2nd. But no, these teams matched up perfectly. The reason it was different is that Fujita and Jake Lee just stalked each other quite a bit. It was not fast-paced. I'm fine with that. If you need fast-forward video game wrestling, you'll hate this match. But I loved it. This is what wrestling is supposed to be. Two big guys checking each other out. Maybe thinking of shooting in, then backing off. Maybe thinking of shooting in, then backing off. It makes this shit seem legitimate. And there's nothing better than a wrestling company that can make something seem legitimate. But it came down to Marufuji overcoming the younger, less experienced LJ Cleary for the win, hitting a big Spanish fly off the top rope to pin the youngster. And honestly, it didn't seem like Fujita or Jake Lee honestly cared who won the match. They were too busy getting in each other's faces and trying to intimidate each other, which I don't think is going to work on either's end. I think they have to get over that thought and just go for it. But overall, very solid matchup. Very, very strategic. Okay, understand that if you're going to watch this. Why did the wrestling snob like this? Because wrestling is too often promoted and presented and showcased as something that isn't real. And this felt real. Thank you, Noah.